Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Avocado English ABCs. Today we're going to do some vintage reading. We're going to do a story called The Great Paper Chase. Please follow along the reading with me and listen to my pronunciation and intonation. The Great Paper Chase. When you're as far along in school as I am, said John Hall, you have lots of homework to do. Tonight I have to write a paper about airplanes. I looked up things about planes in books at school today and wrote them in this notebook. I have to turn my paper in first thing in the morning. Steve Penny grabbed for his cap as the wind almost blew it away. Then he said, "I wouldn't want to be up in an airplane this afternoon. It's too windy." "I like wind when I'm not wearing a cap. I have to hold on to my head," said Tim Day. At that minute, the three boys reached a corner where there was lots of traffic. Then several things happened at once. The stoplight facing the boys turned red. Policeman Sam Powers was standing in the middle of the wide street. He held up his hand and blew his whistle. 4 lanes of traffic that had been moving along Bank Street came to a stop. 6 lanes of cars and buses and taxicabs began to move along Lake Street. At that second, John Hall dropped the notebook he had been showing to his young friends. The rings in the notebook snapped open. The strong wind lifted John's papers out of the notebook and carried them into the city streets. "Oh no!" cried John, as he saw his school papers fly out of his reach. One of them disappeared into a taxicab that was waiting at the corner. Some of them blew into the lanes of moving traffic. One paper flew over Policeman Powers' head, then swooped to the ground near his feet. A few papers blew straight up as high as the top of the bank building. One paper hung like a kite in the air outside a high window of the newspaper building. Policeman Sam Powers was a friend to all who were in trouble. Many people knew him and told others of the way he helped. The minute he saw what had happened now, he blew his whistle hard. Shriek! He stopped all traffic at the corner of Lake and Bank Streets. "Hurry into the street, boys," he called. "Hurry up and get your papers. I'll hold up traffic a bit while you get them." For a second, the boys were hardly able to believe their eyes and ears. Then they dashed into the streets to get the papers. They tried to gather them up quickly, but the papers were not easy to catch. Just as a boy was about to grab one, the wind would swish it away again. The driver of the taxi got out of his cab with a paper in his hand. He was going to give it to one of the boys, but all 3 were busy chasing other papers. So the taxi driver chased papers too. Then other people started running after papers, making fancy leaps into the air to catch some, and dashing into the streets to pick up others before they disappeared. All the drivers of cars and buses and taxis that were stopped right at the corner knew why traffic could not move. But drivers who were stopped a few cars back from the corner didn't understand. These drivers began to honk their horns, beep, 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 and race their engines. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Some put their heads out of the car and shouted impolitely, "What's the matter? What's going on here?" Beep, 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 vroom, 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 rah, 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 rah. The honks and the shouts got louder and louder, and angrier and angrier. People working in the tall buildings along the street came to windows to see what the matter was. Other people ran out from the nearby shops. When the noise was loudest, people started getting out of the cars and telling the drivers stop behind them why traffic was not able to move. As soon as the drivers knew what was happening up at the corner, the loud, impolite honking and shouting stopped. Everybody in the cars and in the buildings began to laugh and call back and forth about the paper chase in front of the shops at the corner of Lake and Bank Streets. Can you believe it? Wow! Boys and girls, here's a picture of what's happening. You can see all the people chasing the papers. Bank Street and Lake Street. Before many minutes had gone by, all John Hall's school papers had been caught. A young man leaning out of a third-story window shouted, "Let's give a cheer for policeman Sam Powers! Hooray!" The policeman waved and called, "Make it a cheer for everyone. I just held the traffic. Everybody else did the work." The end. I hope you enjoyed our reading time. Please click like and subscribe for more great educational videos. Bye-bye.